Alright, starting this coconut porter. Brew day. We got some toast. We got some coconut we're gonna toast. This is Cuckoo coconut. It's unsweetened, it's organic. Just got it off of Amazon. Here's a pound of it right here. Just kind of spread it out across a cookie sheet on some parchment paper so it doesn't stick. And we're gonna give this a try. We have the oven set to 350. So do this one-handed. Stick this in here. And I'm told that this will burn pretty quickly, so just stick that in there and we'll give it about 5 minutes and I'll probably take a look at it and turn it around. We got our yeast starter going here. This is the Omega Yeast 15. It's the Scottish Ale. So this has been going for a little over a day. So should be good. So this is 5 minutes later. You can see that it is tanned a little bit around the edges. So I'm just going to give it a quick toss. And we'll put it back in again. For a couple more minutes, it should be good. It's a bit hot, so let's go ahead and put the oven mitt on, huh? Safety first. Stick that back in there. Just milling up the grains. We've got 12 pounds of Maris Otter, a little bit of Caramunic, a touch of aroma for color, and some chocolate. So all ready to go. The water coming up to temp. The mash done to 159. I'm going to go to 163. So when we add the grains, we should be dropping around the 151, 152 range. I've already got the brewing salts in here, so I don't know if you can see that with the glare, but we have the new impeller in this pump. I didn't notice a problem until I was mashing, so we'll see how it goes. I mean, so far so good. It's flowing good, so we will see. And I'm just checking on the coconut. Oh yeah, that smells wonderful. Looks pretty good too. So yeah, they were right. It doesn't take much. This is, I think this is good. So I got a nice golden tan to it. There we go. Yeah, that looks really good. So this is a pound of some coconut. So it's toasted coconut. I mean, it's not all toasted, but that's okay. I don't want to burn this. It doesn't take much, so I'm just going to add this here to the mash. It's a nice blend here of toasted and untoasted, I think. So this is good. All right, we're all mashed in. And now for the moment of truth. See if we got a good flow. Oh, look at that. That was probably the issue. It's looking like it was the issue. We'll know in a few minutes, but that was definitely a lot smoother than the last brew. We got a nice flow going in there. We hit our target. We were aiming for 152. We got 153, but that's okay. It will balance out. There it goes, 152. So go ahead and start the timer for mash. And yeah, keep an eye on this. Alright, we got our roll and boil. 60 minutes. Throw in our ounce of Challenger. Alright. 15 minutes left in the boil. I got a little distracted. Close enough. We'll just boil for an extra minute or two. We have an ounce and a half of Cascade. And you go. And we have the yeast nutrient and the Whirlflock tablet. Looks like we have 1060. Just about right on the money. So there's a downside of this system for if I ever wanted to do a double brew day like today. So the mash tun's cleaned out and ready to receive. However, I only have one heating element. Of course, I can turn on at a time. So I have the hot liquor tank ready to also receive the mash water, but I need my pumps. So I'm currently chilling, moving into the fermenter. As soon as I am done moving this to the fermenter, I will be going ahead and mashing in on the second batch. So this is the coconut porter. Probably show a quick little clip of me after the yeast is in, and then we're going to move on to the second beer. Alright, 6 gallons of wort, 1060, ready to receive the yeast. It's a little bit hot, 75, that's okay. Now I'm just going to dump this whole thing in there. That's the proper starter and the Omega yeast 15, the Scottish ale. And aerated the wort pretty good. Boom, in you go. Have fun making me some nice coconut porter. Oh, a little windier today. Get that lid on there. And we're going to try something different today because we have 2 of these. So I am going to try to stack them. I'll put this into the ferment chamber, and then when the other one's done, I'll just try to stack it on top of there. There you go, tucked away. Hey, take a page out of Mike Dean's book. Some aluminum foil there. Yeah, I just didn't want to draw back any of that star sand that's sitting in the flask there for blow off. So we're just trying to bring this down to temp. 76 is what it ended up in here. So I'm just going to bring this down to closer to what I want it to be, which is like 66 or 68, somewhere in that range. I'm probably going to ferment this one. Well, both of them at this point, so get that going. And then we are now starting the mash for the new one. So we're going to go ahead and underlet the water. Try putting the brewing salts on the top, mixing in with the mash water this time. We'll see how this goes. So keeping it interesting. We got our little clip there, so we know how far down to go. We need to mash in with 4 1/4 gallons of water. Okay, now we just wait for this thing to normalize. We're trying to mash at 149. So here in a couple of minutes it should get to that point. That's my experience with this system. So we're 12 degrees off currently from what's in the HLT and what's in the mash. Yeah, so it'll bounce out. And then, yeah, you can tell there's a lot of wheat in this beer because look at that, cloudy. But it'll go as it vorlofts. There's the mash for the Gose Cuervo. Gose Cuervo. So, yeah, Mike Dean collaboration beer is now mashing. This is brew number 2 for the day. It's now 12:30, I think. I haven't checked my watch here. Anyway, yeah, so we are now mashing, and I'm going to check the pH here in a couple of minutes after this has a chance to recirculate a little bit. So we didn't do a whole lot with the water profile on this one. Added a little bit of calcium chloride and a little bit of gypsum, not a whole lot. I did have to add a bit of lactic acid, so 2 milliliters of lactic acid to try to get my pH down to 5.2. So we'll see if we hit that target. Okay, oh, just turned off. But how about that? 2 for 2. Didn't even have to mess with this, either beer. So 5.25 is the initial mash on this Gose beer, which is what we want. So we're what, 45 minutes got to go on the mash, 149. So we're right there. I might bump that up to 150 just to maintain the 149. And yeah, got a nice slow recirc going there with that. Put, I don't know, half a pound of rice hulls in there since we had so much wheat. But we do have plenty of Pilsner in there too, so that definitely helps. But yeah, So there you go. Alright, main mash is complete. We'll go ahead and add in, this is 1.5 pounds of the acidulated malt to try to drop this down to the 4.0 range and see what we get. And starting the mash out as well, so we're going to start bringing that up to mash out temp while the 10 minutes or so to let the acidulated malt mix in. So I'll give it like yeah, we're cloudy again. I'll give it I don't know, 5 minutes or so, and then I'll check the pH of this guy. I've already stirred it really good, but I'll give it some time to balance out, and then we'll see what we ended up with and if I have to make any adjustments. Alright, now we are sparging the Gose Cuervo. So, starting to fill up the boil kettle. Actually took the entire, took the mash and the, what do you call it, souring. So it's been mashing total for like 1.5 hours. Finally, finally starting to have issues with the cavitation here, and I think this time it's probably just the amount of wheat that's in there. It's maybe finally a stuck sparge. Not going to worry about it. I'm just going to let this thing finish out. So yeah, we're just doing our sparge now, so it'll be okay. Okay, so we've been sparging. I think I figured out the pump thing. I'm guessing it was probably just a stuck sparge there going on. So I was just kind of messing with what I ended up doing here is I closed this guy. I usually leave this one wide open, but I actually closed this halfway. I left this valve alone, and that was enough to fix the air in this line. So seems to be okay now. I did reopen this back up again, so I don't know what happened there. That was just strange. But this beer does have what, 4.5 pounds of wheat in it, so it's probably the culprit. Although it was weird that it went through the entire mash and some after before it started giving me problems, so I don't know. But still coming in there nice and slow. And actually, now that we're over the element, well, we're not quite at the temperature probe yet, but since we are over the element, we'll go ahead and turn on the boil kettle. And I have it set to 200 degrees as normal. So we're going to bring this thing up to 200 and hold it there until we're at volume. Using the Tony Yates special here. There's a little trick of putting the clip where you want to be. So we're done with the sparge water. Now we're just draining out what's left here to make up our volume. So, yep, there we go. Alright, we've reached our boil. So, start the timer for 60 minutes. I turn this down to 50%. And put the hop spider in there. And the only hop additions that are coming into this, it's Motueka and Sriracha Ace. And we're not putting them in until 15 minutes. So I will go ahead and start cleaning up the mash tun while I'm waiting for this to count down. Alright, down to 15 minutes. That's where stuff starts to get interesting. We're going to put in the nutrient, the World Flock tablet, and our only hop addition, which is the Motueka and Sriracha Ace. Alright, 10 minutes to go. Put in the coriander seed, the sea salt. And the guava nectar. Stuff is really sticky. Alright, end of the brew day. So we are chilling. I chilled the kettle a little bit, and then I actually clogged the counterflow chiller. I am surprised that even happened, but not totally, because there was 3/4 ounce of coriander seed in here, and I totally forgot to throw that into the hop spider. I probably should have, But such is life. So I ended up clogging this thing and running it in reverse just to get it unclogged, and now we're in business. So running really slow. There's probably still a couple of seeds in there, honestly. I'll have to clean everything out real good when we're done, but running out nice and slow. And we ended up with 1055, which is much higher than it should have been. It was supposed to be a 1047, I think, beer. So, whoops, on high efficiency. But maybe we'll blame that on the long mash. Well, there you go. Stacked. 2 brew buckets full of beer. They just fit in there, actually. Now for the cleanup. The best part. Cheers.